that second chance for a break that would make it okay. There's always some reason to feel not good enough, and it's hard at the end of the day. I need some distraction.
Hello, my name is Michael Luce, and I represent the Syrian Humanitarian effort. In 2011, protesters began demonstrations against Bashar al-Assad and the corrupt Syrian government. The protesters demanded democratic reforms and more freedom, but the Syrian president refused. To deal with the problem, the Syrian army was ordered to open fire on the demonstrators. This event escalated into the civil war going on today between the Syrian government and the civilian rebel forces. The war has endangered everyone in Syria, men, women, and children alike. Millions of people have died, and millions more are fleeing as refugees. Those in Syria are in dire need of help and support from you.
You are pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel.
The war in Syria is not being fought like a traditional war. This war takes guerrilla warfare to a whole new level. Investigators from the UN are currently investigating war crime offenses by both sides of the conflict. One offense being looked into is civilian suffering, such as blocking access to food, water, and health, as a method of war. Another big problem is the fighting, which is causing civilians to be displaced from their home. In fact, almost 4 million people have fled since the start of the conflict. Most of those people are women and children. Another 7.6 million people are displaced within the country, making the total number of displaced humans to more than 11 million, about half the population of Syria. A UN report suggests 12.2 million people are in need of humanitarian aid within Syria, including 5.6 million children. Another problem is the alleged use of chemical weapons. The government has allegedly used chemical weapons in 7 different instances in 2013. Outside groups are taking advantage of the chaos in the region. Groups like the Islamic State, ISIS, are being accused of terrorizing people all over Syria.
You are pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of...
Hello, my name is Turner Rodman, and like my counterparts Mr. Luce and Mr. Morrow, I represent the Syrian humanitarian effort. You all have undoubtedly noticed the eye patch I currently wear over my left eye. This is due to an injury I had procured in Syria while assessing the situation of the war. Do not be mistaken, I was well protected and thought myself to be safe, but inevitably there was no escaping the chaos and violence that the Syrian people face at this time. But I am not alone on the list of those affected by the warfare. As Mr. Morrow has stated, there are an estimated 12.2 million Syrians in need of humanitarian aid. Fortunately, with funding from Mr. Gates, we can readily supply them with it. Our proposals are simple. Firstly, refugee camps should be established strategically throughout Syria to account for the 11 million citizens currently displaced throughout the country. That way, they will have the shelter that they so desperately need at this time. Secondly, shipments of food should be sent into the country to help all those who are faced with a terrible famine. Potentially, if the refugee camps are already established, the food can be sent directly to them so that they can readily distribute it to any citizens that come for shelter. Lastly, the Syrian people require advanced medical supplies. Whether injuries occur from traditional methods of warfare or the alleged chemical weaponry, the Syrians cannot actively treat their people with the limited supplies they currently have. So, new supplies should be sent into the country as soon as possible. Again, if we utilize the refugee camps we can potentially have established, the distribution of these supplies becomes much easier. My fellow representatives and I would like to thank you for listening to our proposal. We ask that you thoroughly consider the suffering of all the Syrians at this time, especially that of the children. We hope that you realize how important it is for us to give them aid and decide to fund our humanitarian effort. Thank you.